Come on in. Come on in. Come on in, you all. Come on in. Let me know if you can hear me and hear me well. I promise I will not be here before you long. Come on in. I got a quick message for you all. I have a quick message. Hey, Tracy. Thank you, dear. How have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a minute. I don't know why my cheeks look plump today, like I have food in them. Hey, Radiant Sun. I don't know. My cheeks are just glowing. They're kind of, I don't know. These cheeks are extra plump today. I know I have high cheekbones like my mom, but they just, maybe because I have my hair pulled back, but they look extra, I know these are my Nigerian features, my African, features, and which I'm proud of, but my cheekbones are extra vibrant today. Oh my goodness. Yes. I don't know. Radiant Sun. I thank God though. I guess I'm vibrating, radiating. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Oh, yes, honey. You're going to need what I got to say today because this is for us. I just got off work and I was on my way home. And, you hear people talking about the year of exposure and the year of truth and this, that, and the other. Listen, chosen ones, your story matters. That's the topic. I want to let you know that your story matters. And there's going to come a time this year. There's going to come a time, and you have to get yourself prepared. There's going to come a time where you are going to have to speak your truth. You are going to have to speak your truth. For so long, and I know for me, I could speak this for myself. For so long, you've been quiet. You've been trying to protect people. You've been trying to save people. You haven't said a word to people about anything that you've gone through, about anything that people done to you, about how they mistreated you. Oh, you've all about taking accountability. You have dealt with yourself. You've dealt with your things. But for years, you've protected people. For years, you haven't uttered a word. You haven't told anyone anything you were going through. Half of the time, if you tell somebody what you went through, people would think you're lying. People would think that you are lying. People won't even believe you because you did the work. You put your best foot forward. You put your best foot forward. You say, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Half of you all prayed and fasted and took it to Jesus. You journaled. You didn't tell a soul. You didn't tell a soul. People have victimized you all. People lied on some of you. People slandered your name. They talked about you. They made you look like you were crazy. They're saying that, you're taking them through all these different things. You were the victim, but everybody else playing like they're the victim. You are the victim, but you're not acting like a victim. You're looking good. You're smelling good. You're putting on your pants the right way. You're not putting on your pants backwards. Okay. You got a positive attitude. And for years, you have protected people. For years, you haven't uttered a word. For years, you haven't made people look like look like what they really are. You were quiet. You were quiet. You put a smile on your face. You said you were not going to worry about it. That's them. They got something going on. You made all kind of excuses for people. You made all kind of excuses for people. But there's coming a time, chosen ones, and you got to get ready. There's coming a time where you are going to have to tell your truth. Because your truth matters. Whether you want to tell your truth or not, you're going to be forced to. You're going to be forced to. I think Cat Williams started us off with some truth. I don't usually get into all of that, but he started us off, and he said that this is going to be the year of truth, of exposure. While everyone else get to go and live their life, and they got you looking like you're just this crazy person who don't want nothing out of life. You just this awful mom. You're this awful everything. You're just this awful wife, this awful grandmother, just awful, sibling, this awful family member. All those things and lies that people put on you all. They put their mouth on the chosen one. And when you tell your story, you're going to shut the internet down. You're going to shut things down because you've been quiet for so long. People have mistreated you all. Your family don't know your children don't know what you've been through. Your children don't know the half of what people put you through in your family. They don't know the half of what your spouse put you through, your in-laws put you through, because you wanna create this facade as if everything is okay. You carried the burden for people for years. You haven't said anything because you want to create peace. Your heart is at peace. You're a peaceful person. You're a peaceful person. You don't want to create no brouhaha. You don't want to create no foolishness and mess. You've been mistreated all your life. And your children wouldn't even know the half you've been through. But you just sit and you walk as if ain't nothing wrong. You sit and if you died today, your children wouldn't know. They wouldn't know the hell you went through. Because you didn't utter a word. You didn't pretend to be a victim. You didn't pretend to be a victim. You put your best foot forward and you just grinded. You just worked. Trying to make sure your children are okay. Trying to make sure you take care of your business. Trying to break generational curses. People made you look like you were a fool. They made it look like you just got you're a nut, a basket case. But God has been protecting you. Use people against y'all. Use your own children against you. But the truth will be exposed because them kids are waking up too. They realizing who the liars are. These kids are now realizing who was manipulating them, who was trying to control them. Oh, y'all children are waking up. That's why it's good to pray. You pray and you do what God say and you move out of the way. Oh, these kids are going to come into their own. They're going to get the knowledge. Because one thing about the truth is consistent. The truth is consistent. People will no longer be able to manipulate folks anymore. Manipulating people to look at you a certain way. Manipulating people to look at you like you just this awful mom. Like you just this mom just that just hates your children. Because people came in and manipulated. They used their demonic sorcery. This is why prayer is so powerful. This is why these people are going to be exposed. This is why some of these people are going to check out of here. Because they're so evil and wicked. And they're unrepentant. God tried to give them a chance to repent and turn away, but they still want to play around. They still want to be wicked. They still want to be out here pushing their lies and lying on folks. But this is the year that you're going to tell your story, that you're going to tell your truth. You're no longer going to hide. And just to, you don't want to look like the villain. You don't want to look like the bad person. Or you don't want to make somebody upset. Some of you all did not utter a word because you did not want to frustrate. You did not want to disappoint the person you were married to. You didn't want to disappoint your spouse. You didn't want to disappoint your children. You didn't want to disappoint your grandmother. Anybody you're connected to that you love, this is how it goes. You love the person. You love a certain person. right? But a certain person, right? You love this one person. Okay, say you love person A, but person A is connected to person B, right? Person A is connected to person B, and person B hates your guts. And you know person B do not treat you right. Person B don't treat you right, but because you love person A and you don't want to come between A and B, you sit there and you take it. You took all that foolishness. You took all the foolishness. You took all the hurt. You went through all of the mental anguish. You could have drove yourself crazy because you're trying to keep that relationship with person A. You're trying to keep that relationship, but person B treats you like trash. But because person B is close to person A, you don't want to confront them. You don't want to put them in their place. Oh, this is not the season for that anymore. Y'all chosen ones, you might as well get ready for relationships to be destroyed, because it is. Because you can't keep everybody satisfied. You can't please everybody. This is why some of you all are depressed, because you're trying to please everyone. And you know people don't treat you right. You know people don't treat you fair. You know that. They can be nice and loving to everyone else. But when it comes to you, chosen one, they dog you out. They don't respect you. They don't acknowledge you. They hate your guts. Let's be honest. They hate you. You know they hate you. You didn't do anything to those people. If anything, you've ran behind them for too long. Trying to get them to like you. Trying to get them to accept you. You've ran behind them for too long. But you might as well get ready. You might as well get ready to be by yourself or be in isolation or go through whatever process you're going to go through. Mentally, you need to get yourself ready, because you're going to destroy the relationship. You got to think about, if you had to do all that in the first place, that relationship should have been ended. Not to be pointing my fingers. I'm trying not to point my fingers, but that relationship should have been ended. If you got to coddle and keep people, propped up because they're disrespecting you, it should have been ended. You're not responsible for how people feel. If somebody is mistreating you, you need to address that. You need to speak up. But for so long, my message is, for so long, you've been quiet. You've been quiet. You haven't told a soul how these people mistreated you. As far as people know, you and these people don't have any issues. That's how quiet you have been. As far as people know on the outside, looking on the inside, as far as they know, y'all all right. You don't have a problem with them. They don't have a problem with you. But they don't know the pain you suffered. They don't know the mental anguish you suffered. They don't know the warfare you had to go through with these people. Oh yes, Mobile Moms by Tahita. God is waking his chosen up. We got to come out of this slumber in this people-pleasing spirit. For so long, people beat us down with religion, saying we're supposed to be quiet and not stand up for ourselves and just take it and suffer. No, we're not suffering anymore. We're speaking up, and you don't have to be nasty or anything like that. You're just speaking up for yourself and telling people they can no longer mistreat you, or you don't want to be around them if they can't respect you. If they can respect you and what you stand for and the God you serve, you're okay. You're okay with being by yourself. You don't need these people. One thing about the chosen ones, and this is what I can't stand about people. People don't like how you are. They don't like how you are. See, because your truth is going to agitate them demons in them. Your truth is going to mess up them spirits in them wicked spirits. Because, see, people already think we got x-ray vision. They already think we got x-ray vision. We can see straight through them. And we really can. We know a wicked person when we see them. They can come with a smile, but we can see straight through that heart. We can peer straight through their soul and see that they're wicked. Even if they're smiling. Even if they're smiling. That's a superpower that we have. We could tell wickedness. We could tell perverted spirits. We could tell. I know I could. I could. I could see straight through somebody's heart if they wicked or not. Dark heart, I can see it. But see, this is what I don't like about people. I could be around anyone. You can serve whatever God you want to. You can serve you could worship the ground. You can worship the trees, the moon, the stars, any of that, right? And I could respect you as a person. That don't mean I have to break bread with you or eat with you unless God says otherwise. I can respect you as a person. But when it comes to us chosen ones, people don't like to accept us for who we are. We're always misunderstood. They don't like to accept us. I can respect anyone how they are. You can be transgender, unknown gender. I can love you and respect you because my heart is pure. I don't judge people based on who they are and what they are. Right? Unless I could, if I feel that that wicked spirit ain't, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go around. Because just because you're confused in your identity, that don't mean you're wicked. Some people just have to be delivered. Just how we were in our stupor, right? We were stuck in our stupor. We were stuck in darkness too. So I can respect people and still love on them and treat them like somebody. I don't have to reject folks because they're a certain way. That's just me. That's how God made me. I can't speak for nobody else. But some of us can love and respect people and accept them for how they are. But when it comes to us, people, we're not doing anything but existing. Look, we're not doing anything but existing and being happy and bubbly, and people will hate you. People hate us for just being us, for being genuine and pure and real and good-hearted. People will hate that light in you. And you got to realize why. You can't take that person. I used to take this stuff personal. I used to take it personal. There was one person who rejected me. As long as I knew them, they rejected me from the jump. And I was trying to win this person over, get in their good graces and just win them over. And God was like, no. And the reason that this person was rejecting me, because they felt that I saw them. Their hearts were wicked. They were not pure. And, rejecting that relationship. He didn't want that relationship to bond, to jail, because light and darkness can't mix anyways. Light and darkness can't mix. And I used to be, before I came into my understanding of who I was, before I had my awakening, and I used to be like, what I did to this person and trying to figure it out. But when God delivered me, now that I see, I'm glad I didn't build no relationship with this person. Because they would have harmed me worse. They would have did more harm to me than good. They already harmed, some situations in my life, but it would have been worse. And it would have been harder for me to unyoke myself with this person. So I'm glad I didn't build a relationship with this person. And I wanted to so bad because in my mind, I'm thinking that's what we're supposed to do. When certain people are connected in your life, you think you're supposed to connect and have a relationship, which you are, but this person just was too wicked. This person was just too wicked. And I'm so glad, and I'm so glad that I came into my understanding and I could forgive that person and still not have nothing to do with them. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to see somebody who is wicked and to see a person who's trying to harm you and destroy your family and still forgive them. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of deliverance. I'm not going to sit here and lie as if it's easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work, spiritual work. To the natural eye, forgiveness and all this, what I'm talking about, don't make sense. But when you get that spiritual understanding, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. But to the natural eye, if I tell somebody my story and what I went through, they'll be like, I never forgive that person. I know some people right now will say, I never forgive them. I wouldn't have anything to do with them. They'll be talking all evil and wishing harm. You can't do that. I can't do that because it's not in me. It's not in me. It's me. But I understand now I can forgive and I can see people for who they are. Because sometimes we try to change people and make them be who we want them to be in our lives. But these people don't have the spiritual understanding and strength to be what it is that we need as a chosen one. As a chosen one, we only can connect to certain people. And that's like a dot. It's like a period. It's like a period. Because most of our strength and deliverance come from God. We plug right into him. We plug into him. No one can give us what God can give us. Once we realize that, we'll be okay. And we'll stop trying to get things from people when they can't give it to us because they don't have the capacity. Like someone said in here, they don't have the capacity. But get ready to tell your story, chosen ones. Get ready to tell your story, because the truth will be spoken this year. Your truth will be spoken. Whether you want to or not, you're going to be forced to, because you speaking your truth is going to start your deliverance. It's going to start your healing. You suppressing what happened to you is not working for you anymore. You holding in what happened to you is causing you mentally to break down. It's causing depression and stress and all these other things that come with it. All of those other things. That's why you're going to be forced to tell your truth, because you need to be delivered. You need to be set free. The truth will make you free. You have to be set free. Gone are the days where you're trying to save people reputation. You're trying to hold it in. You don't want to cause confusion. You don't want to disrupt. You're going to be disruptive. I'm sorry. You're going to disrupt people's little perfect lives. You're going to disrupt it. And let God show you and lead you how to share that story, because you're not going to be sharing it from a place of, hurt and pain. You're going to be delivered to where that story is just pure, and you just telling your story. It's going to be from a pure place. Just because you share your story doesn't mean that you're in unforgiveness. We have to dismantle that lie too. We have to dismantle, because you sharing your story, right? You're in unforgiveness. You haven't forgiven that person. No, that's a lie. Stop thinking that way. That's a lie. Your story needs to be told. Your story is the first step to you being set free. So either you're going to worry about them or you're going to free yourself. You got a choice to make. So that's what I wanted to come tell you all. I hope this message was for someone, because it was for me. It was for me. Because sometimes we're so quiet. And just because years have passed. See, a lot of you all, years have passed. I mean, it's been 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, 5, 10. It's been years. And you haven't uttered a word. People don't know the half you went through. They don't know. They don't know. Because guess what? You got up. You focused on your household. You took care of your kids. You tried to take care of your health. You did what you needed to do. You gave. You took your eyes off yourself and you went out there and gave and found people to give to and bless. You blessed folks without showing it on the internet, without wanting to get praise. You did things in the secret place that God is going to reward you openly. Your blessings are going to be open publicly. People are going to see you rise. People are going to see you increase. People are going to see you bless. And they're going to say, why her? Why him? And it's because of what you did in the dark. What you did in the dark You didn't tell your children what you was going out doing. You didn't tell your husband what you were going out doing. You didn't tell your friends, oh, I did this today. Oh, I went to do this today. I gave to this person. You didn't tell anybody. You didn't tell Facebook that you was going, giving to the poor, feeding people, doing. You didn't tell nobody that. You were just doing it. Whatever God told you to do, you did it. You didn't put it on blast. You gave them anonymous donations. You didn't want people to say, oh, you didn't even want your name tied to some of that stuff. If it was a way to take your name and put anonymous, that's what you did. Because you know your blessings come from God. You didn't sit there and take a picture. You handed somebody something, you taking a picture of it. You didn't get no glory in that. Your glory was being obedient. Your glory was seeking. You doing what God told you to do. God say, when you take care of the poor, he'll take care of you. That's what you were doing. You were doing the work in the trenches. And now when God start blessing you abundantly, people are going to hate on you. They're going to be jealous. They're going to question why you. Because they thought their evil deeds and their evil tongue and their evil behavior towards you was going to stop you from being the good person you are. Just because somebody mistreat you don't mean that you're evil. Don't mean that you have to pay them back. You don't have to let that poison get onto you. The way to get out of being hurt, go serve somebody else. Do something for somebody else. When people mistreat you, you take that energy and go find somebody to give to. Go help somebody. So you can take the focus off yourself. It's what you do in the quiet place. It is what you did in the dark when nobody was watching. When nobody was watching, oh, that's what God is going to bless. He's going to bless the darkness, what you did in the darkness. What you did when nobody was watching. You didn't tell nobody, oh, I was doing this, I was doing that. When God put on your heart to go give this person that, you did it. When God told you to pick up the phone, call this person. See if they still need that, what they asked you for. Call this person, bless this person, give to this person. You did it. And those were seeds you were planting. You were planting seeds. And it's going to come back. Tenfold, 10x. See, what I've noticed, I hope my phone don't go out. And if it do, y'all be blessed. But what I've noticed, people, let me tell you why people don't want God. Let me tell you why people hate God. And let me tell you why they don't want nothing to do with him. When let me tell you why people reject God. Let me tell you right now. Let me tell you why. People want to denounce God. People want to say he's not real. Let me tell you why. Because people are so fleshly and they are so worldly. We don't want nobody telling us what to do. We want to do whatever our flesh tell us to do. Whatever this perverted flesh of ours tell us to do, we want to do it. If it tell us to overeat, we want to do it. If it tell us to be perverted, we want to do it. We don't want to be obedient. We don't want to submit to God. We don't want to be obedient. We want to do as we will. That's why people want to reject God. That's why they don't want nothing to do with him. Because he has order. You can't do what you want to do. And everybody wants to do what they want to do. We can't do what we want to do with our bodies. We can't do what we want to do with our mouth. We can't do what we want to do with our finances. We don't want to do, we don't want anything to do with God because he got a rule book that we got to follow. And people want to discredit God, his word, and everything. Because we want to do what we want to do. We want to find another way. We want to find another way to get the results. But there's only one way to get peace. There's only one way to have true peace. I don't care what anybody says. And you got to seek him to get that. You got to seek him. We got to put in the work. See, people will get jealous of what you have, but they're not willing to do what it is that God is requiring you to do. This why everybody want a quick fix. This why everybody want to see a psychic. This why everybody want to see a tarot card reader. This why everybody wants to see somebody that's going to give them a quick fix. Because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the spiritual work. They don't want to forgive. They don't want to speak the truth. They don't want to repent. We don't want to do any of that. Excuse me. But we want the results. And we'll get mad at the chosen. We'll get mad at those who God is using. We'll get mad at those who God is using. Yeah, we'll get mad at those who God got favor on. We'll get mad at them. We'll get mad. We'll talk down on religion, talk down on the Bible. We'll say anything to keep us from doing the work. Excuse me, y'all. I had to get some water. We'll do anything keep from doing the personal work because it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. It is hard work. It's hard to look in the mirror. It's hard to look in the mirror and say it's my fault. It's hard to look in the mirror and say I'm the reason for this. Oh, it's hard. We don't want to do that. We'll point the finger at grandma, granddaddy, this, that, mama, daddy, wife, ex-husband, son, daughter, boss. It's hard to do the work. You're talking to somebody who ran from it for years. God been telling me to do the work that I'm doing now. But I didn't want to do it because guess what? I didn't want to lose people. I didn't want to lose people. And guess what? I lost them anyways. When you idolize people, you idolize your mama, your daddy, your grandmother. When you put people before God and what God told you to do, you're going to lose them anyways. You've already lost them because you're putting them before God. God told you to tell your uncle what he was doing is wrong. God told you to tell your mom what she's doing is wrong, but you so afraid she's going to get mad at you. Some of y'all got to correct y'all pastors because they got a title. He told you to correct your pastor, but because you worship him and you think that because he's a pastor, he knows everything. Y'all won't correct him. You're afraid because y'all idolize these people. You idolize these people. Yep. Y'all don't want to correct people. You don't want to correct your siblings. You don't want to tell your brother what he's doing is harming the community. You don't want to tell, and people have to stop this false sense of judge me. See, we've gotten to a place to where people are so offended. You can't correct them because people feel like you're judging. You're not judging. You're telling them the truth. And people will make you feel bad because God put something on your heart. And he told you to say whatever you need to say. But because you're afraid and because they're going to say you're judging me, you don't tell them. You don't tell them. And that person go out and have a car accident and die, that blood is on your hand. That blood is on your hand. I am so glad I was obedient when God told me to confront somebody, a loved one, in love. I have no worries. I have no regrets because I spoke what God told me to speak. Most people won't do that because we're too afraid of losing people. We're too afraid of losing people. We won't tell them the truth. We won't tell them the truth. That's because you put those people before God. You honor them more than the truth that God has put in you. Because we're too prideful. We're too prideful. We don't want to, we don't want to interrupt anyone's dysfunction. I'm glad I was obedient. No, you don't have to make people feel like they can't be themselves around you. No, that's not your job. Your job is when God puts something on your heart, whether it's your kids, siblings, mom, dad, you're supposed to say what he tells you to say. You don't know the internal struggles those people are going through. You don't know what they're dealing with, and you're disobedient. You're disobedient. That's why most people around you are suicidal, and y'all won't say nothing. You won't say nothing to them because you are afraid, but you don't know they got a war going on inside their head, and God is trying to tell you to tell these people something, but you're afraid because it looks like they look like they got their life together. They look like they're doing good. You can't see the people's thoughts. You don't know what's going on. Most people who are depressed smile every day. Most people who are thinking about harming themselves, they smile every day. But because you are so prideful, you don't want to say nothing to this person because you think they're going to, you think they're going to get mad at you. Let them be mad. I remember I was listening to Les Brown. Les Brown, I used to love listening to him. You guys go look up his story. But I remember him telling a story about one of his mentors. One of his mentors, he was an alcoholic, right? And like Les Brown say, because we think people who mentor us, we think people who we look up to, and this is what we do because we got parents, we got our dads, moms. We think these people who we look up to, we think they're perfect, and they're not perfect. But I remember Les Brown telling the story about how he had to confront his mentor. His mentor was an alcoholic. He picked up the phone, called his mentor, and told his mentor to get help. And his mentor said to him, "I dare you." See, that's how pride is. We feel like because the person who raised us knows better, or they don't have any flaws or weaknesses. Just because they raised us, that don't mean that they're perfect. They got issues and things that they're dealing with that they need to handle. That is not right. But he said he called his mentor, told his mentor to get help. You need to seek help. You need to go to a treatment facility. He said his mentor hung up on him and didn't talk to him ever again for years passed. And he said one day he got a call out of the blue from his mentor telling him, "Thank you. Thank you for," and I'm summarizing the story, "but thank you for confronting me. Thank you for calling me out on my addiction." And he said that was the best feeling for his mentor to call him and tell him thank you, because his mentor got help. His mentor got help because of what the mentee said. And you sitting here afraid. Your mama need to be called out. You need to tell your mama she's she's wrong. Let me just say that. Tell your mom she's wrong. Tell your grandmother she's wrong. Tell your dad he is wrong. Tell your siblings you're wrong. Correct this. But we'll sit there and laugh and go along to get along. Chosen ones, you got to speak up. But I didn't want to go this long, but somebody had to hear this. Somebody had to hear that story. Just because you're the mentee, you see things that your mentor is doing that is not right. They could be corrected. Just because they have the title, the education, that doesn't mean that they can't be corrected. Don't let these titles stop you from correcting people. Sometimes people lead with these titles out of pride. Sometimes people lead with these titles so that you won't call them out, so that they can appear to be the expert. They're not the experts. They're still human. They are flawed. Okay? I was an adult, and my 6-year-old daughter taught me something. When she was 6, she's 21 now. She taught me something. But if I was too prideful to receive what came out of the mouth of a babe, I wouldn't have listened. You can't be too prideful. You can learn from anybody. But when you're prideful, you think people can't tell you anything because you got your education, you got your degree, because you're mom. Some of these parents, you can't be prideful. Yes, you got wisdom, but God is speaking through these babies who are not tainted by the world, and their vessels are pure. So out of the mouth of babes, because they're pure. They're pure. And God can put something in the mouth of a baby to wake your foolish self up, because you think you know too much. You think you know everything. You think you know everything. But these babies are more pure. They haven't been tainted by the world yet. That's why the enemy is after these kids too, because he's trying to taint their spirits. These children are smart, and they're wise, and they're truthful. That's why you don't ask a child nothing. If you don't want the truth, do not ask a baby, because the baby is going to speak the truth. How do you like my hair? Do I look fat? Do I look skinny? How do I look? The kids are going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you, I don't like that. That's ugly. And some of y'all adults, y'all need to stop being petty, because these children are truthful. Stop taking things out on these children, because they're pure. These kids are pure. They're going to speak the truth. And y'all take it out on these babies because those babies told you all what you have on is ugly or how you look or you mean. These babies are pure and truthful. That's why the enemy is after them, trying to confuse them. But anyways, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. So you all, your story matters. You all be blessed. Okay? Be blessed. And continue working on yourself. Continue praying. Continue doing the work. I know it's hard. It's not easy. When you're released to share your story, share your story. When you're released to share it, share it. Don't be afraid. But make sure you're coming from a right heart. Make sure your heart is pure. Make sure your heart is pure. You can tell your story from a good heart posture, which means that you've forgiven that person, you've forgiven those people, but it's still your story. You know what I'm saying? You still can tell what you experienced and what you learned from that part in your life, that season. Because 9 times out of 10, somebody need what you have. Your testimony is an example. It's confirmation to someone that they're not alone. Because see, people look at you all and they think you have it together. But when you tell them all you've been through, now it makes them feel more connected to you. And they'll be like, if she went through it, I know I could tell my story. If she went through all of that and still joyous and happy and still believe in God, so can I. That's why your testimony, your story is needed. It's a testimony for a reason. It's your story for a reason. And now you got all these lessons you can tell and teach others. So you all be blessed.